they do not like any section of the
रामेश्वर चौरसिया
opposition.
जवाब
So much so
दीजिए,
that if there's
हाल
a
ही में
potential
महाराष्ट्र
threat,
में क्या
if
हुआ?
there is a potential threat
आपने
even within their camp, they will be
आपने शिंदे
annihilated.
को यूज किया, शिवसेना को तोड़ा। नीतीश कुमार को यही डर था कि आरसीपी
अच्छा,
सिंह
मैं
को
बोलूं
आप
आपको?
दोबारा एक
मैं
एक
बताऊं?
एक एक और
ये
एकनाथ
राजनीति
शिंदे
की बात
बनाएंगे।
करेंगे।
मैंने सुन लिया,
जवाब
मैंने सुन
दीजिए,
लिया।
हाँ, जवाब दीजिए।
हाँ, मैं सुन लिया, मैं बोलता हूं। सुप्रिया सिन्हा जी क्या बोलेंगी? इनको तो डूबते को तिनके का सहारा चाहिए। इनको रीजनल पार्टी में अपना भविष्य नजर आ रहा है। गोवा की सरकारें बचा नहीं पाई, दिग्विजय सिंह जाकर के वहां होटल में आराम फरमा रहे थे। कर्नाटक इनके लोग छोड़ करके आए, चाहे जो भी छोड़ करके आए, हमने तो नहीं तोड़ा। महाराष्ट्र में आपने देखिए, आप बीच में बोलने की आपकी आदत बहुत खराब है। आपको बीच में बोलने की आदत खराब है। मैंने कोई एक शब्द नहीं बोला सुप्रिया जी, नहीं। बिहेव योरसेल्फ।
आपसे मुझे
हमने कुछ नहीं बोला।
सर्टिफिकेट नहीं चाहिए, अपनी बात
आपको सुनना चाहिए दूसरों की बात भी। आप एक एक 3-3 मिनट बोलते रहते हैं लगातार और सुनते नहीं है।
सुप्रिया, let him please. He did not interrupt. Supriya, let him finish. चौरसिया जी, बात रखिए आपका।
हम सुनते रहेंगे।
आपका बात रखिए।
सुनिए,
सुननी पड़ेगी देश के।
अब आप महाराष्ट्र की बात आपने पूछा।
जी,
महाराष्ट्र
हाँ,
में देखिए कैसे शिवसेना हमारे साथ लड़ी, उधर जाके बनाई तो उनके लोग छोड़ करके आए, तो इसका दोषारोपण हम पर क्यों जाएगा? हर अपोलिटिकल पार्टी होती है। कांग्रेस भी 60 साल राज की, तो कांग्रेस ने भी बहुत सारी सरकार। आप बताइए ना, हम आपको 2005 की बात बता रहे हैं। 2005 में क्या हुआ था? हम चुनाव जीते, हमें तो शपथ भी नहीं दिलाई गई विधानसभा में, हम विधायक थे भी नहीं, और इनकी सरकार थी, और इनके सरकार में विधानसभा को भंग कर दिया गया। हम लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने गवर्नर को बहुत लताड़ा, ये भी इनको मालूम है। तो आप अपनी कमजोरी का दोष दूसरे पर नहीं दीजिए।
लेकिन चौरसिया जी, महाराष्ट्र की बात कीजिए ना। नीतीश कुमार का डर ये था कि आरसीपी सिंह को आप एकनाथ शिंदे बनाएंगे बिहार में, और उनके पार्टी को तुड़वाएंगे।
हर जगह एक विभीषण पकड़
देखिए,
लेते हैं।
चौरसिया जी, हाँ, चौरसिया जी, ओनली चौरसिया जी, प्लीज, थैंक यू।
आपका क्रिएशन है, जेडीयू का क्रिएशन है। सुनिए, आरपी सिंह को बनाएंगे, ये आपका क्रिएशन, जेडीयू का क्रिएशन है। हम लोगों ने तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं बोला। आरपी सिंह का कोई से ऐसा रिकॉर्ड नहीं है कि आरपी सिंह किसी से किए। अब इनको एक बहाना चाहिए था बीजेपी से अलग होने के लिए, तो अपने ही पूर्व अध्यक्ष को इन्होंने मोहरा बना लिया। तो इसमें हम क्या कर सकते हैं, आप बताइए।
Let me go to Professor Sanjay Kumar. Mr.
सम्मान
Rajgopal
दिया,
is
आपको
also
याद हो,
waiting very
सुनिए ना,
patiently.
एक मिनट सुन लीजिए।
एक सेकंड,
आपको याद
बाकी
है
तीन
कि
गेस्ट भी हैं, बाकी तीन गेस्ट भी हैं, उनके पास जा रहा हूं मैं। प्रोफेसर संजय कुमार, क्लियरली एक सेकंड सर, मैं वापस आऊंगा आपके पास। संजय कुमार, क्लियरली नीतीश कुमार, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देयर इज one level of political survival. Obviously he has sensed some ground shifting under his feet in Bihar, so he wants to protect his political turf in Bihar. So that's one rationale. But surely a politician like Nitish Kumar will also be having one eye on Delhi and possible scenario in 2024. What is the guarantee? And this was the same reason why in 2013 he decided to walk out of the NDA. What is the guarantee that in the competing opposition space, whether there is Congress, Mr. Pawar, Ms. Mamata Banerjee, all of them, Kejriwal, they're all competing in the opposition space, that Nitish Kumar will be given A, pride of place, and B, he will be projected as prime ministerial candidate. And number two, if he could not do this in 2013, what is the guarantee that in 2024, against a much more formidable Modi, clearly Mr. Modi is a much bigger brand in 2024 than he was in 2013. What is the guarantee that he'll be able to take on a much bigger brand 10 years later?
No, Zaka, I agree that there is no guarantee that Nitish Kumar in 2020, Nitish Kumar of 2022, and if he is selected as the face of the opposition parties, on which I have a big question mark, but I will come to that later. There is no guarantee that he will be able to take on Prime Minister Modi in 2024. I agree that now if we compare the two personalities, Nitish Kumar's popularity has seen a decline if we compare it with 2013 at the moment, and if we compare Prime Minister Modi's popularity, his popularity has been on the increase. So Modi's popularity, what it used to be in 2013, is much higher today compared to 2013. Yep. So today we have a weakened Nitish Kumar and a much stronger Narendra Modi. Second point, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for opposition parties to come to a consensus to accept Nitish Kumar as the opposition face. It would have been easier in 2013, but not in 2024, because the credibility of Nitish Kumar has seen a nosedive. I am not saying that he is not popular in the state, But if you look at his image across the country, that's keeping that in mind, the opposition parties are not going to accept easily Nitish Kumar as the face of the opposition. But the first question, I disagree, Zaka, a little, on this question that Nitish Kumar shifted sides in 2013 and 2022 now, mainly because keeping an eye on the seat of Delhi, keeping an eye that he would be the consensus, he might be the consensus candidate of the opposition. I think he has shifted sides because of the local politics in the state, not because of having an aspiration of becoming the chief prime ministerial candidate.
Okay.
Everybody can have that aspiration, but that's not the prime consideration of Nitish Kumar shifting sides.
Okay. Let me go to Ratan Sharda as well as to Mr. Rajgopal. Ratan Sharda, one of the criticisms against the BJP, and I think it will get further accentuated after today's events, is that the BJP has a problem retaining allies. It's almost like an Achilles heel. It was Shiromani Akali Dal in Punjab, Shiv Sena, the Uddhav Thackeray faction, of course, the entire fiasco, you know about it more than I. And now, of course, Nitish Kumar, who was one of the last remaining large allies that the BJP had. How is the BJP going to counter this?
Zaka, first of all, let me just make a primary comment that Nitish Kumar has done the same mistake that Chandrababu Naidu made in 2014. He has chosen the wrong horse to back. He would have been, if you say that he has a local issue, then he would have been much better off in the Bihar government because he was running the government. BJP was clearly second or third fiddle. Now, in case of RJD, RJD is going to be in the driver's seat. Already Home Minister is with Tejasvi Yadav, and their size, their party, their highly assertive style of politics will see to it that Nitish Kumar becomes a second fiddle, and he will regret the decision of going with them, and he is the biggest loser in the coming times. It could be RJD versus BJP. BJP may lose a few seats or may win a more few seats. But point is, for now, for JDU, it is all downhill. It is the last gamble Nitish has played, whether for Bihar or whether for national politics, and he is going to regret it. I am very sure about that. Now, coming to the question of allies, you know very well, in Punjab, Akali Dal had made BJP a subsidiary party in Punjab. I come from Punjab. They were not allowed to have any they could not grow any leader. They could not grow any Sikh leader. That was a condition of Akali Dal's dominance over BJP. So this Akali Dal leaving BJP had its own compulsion. They were on the losing wicket. They were highly corrupt, family corruption, then their SGPC issues, their Khalistan sympathizers issue. So when they left NDA, it was for their own volition, and they have suffered because of their corruption, not because of BJP. BJP has suffered much more. Whatever its base was has been highly destroyed during last few years. They have to restart from beginning. So that's Punjab. Shiv Sena was typically impatient. They had got the maximum number of seats they could fight. They had lower winning percentage than BJP. Still, they were given chance, but they were in a hurry, and they used Congress to become chief minister, and they are in for grief. And Shiv Sena is suffering from its own problems. And coming to Bihar, as I said, Bihar needs much more difference because Nitish Kumar is no more what he was. And let us be very frank, Nitish has no love for BJP. Even the alliance was out of compulsion because he wanted to survive. So he chose BJP because he wanted to survive. You see his behavior all these years. He's never been respectful to Modi. He's never been very close to Modi. He has always tried to show his independent side or even opposite side. I'm not talking the last one. I'm talking of so many years.
Yes, okay.
He now sees a chance that maybe somewhere in the national politics he will have some chance. It's the last hurrah, last game for him. I doubt whether that will play out. But I think this is going to be a really change of the game where RJD and BJP will come face to face, and JDU has lost its mojo. It is no more number one.
Let